Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Extra Attacker Podcast. I'm Kynan Sorkin, joined along by Jeff Hale, who is no longer dying of polio or whatever plague he caught last week, which meant that we had to cancel everything. We couldn't even postpone. In delay. We just had to.
I wouldn't go so far as to say I'm not dying anymore, but I have not died yet. So there's that.
That's something. You're better enough that you can talk at least for an hour. We've got you for an hour because I hear you got to leave us early.
Yeah, Utah decided to be selfish and not play all week, and then only play today at 11 a.m. So it's either I stream right back to back with this, or I miss a week. And all one
Sure,
person that watches me would be very upset.
They're the selfish one. They're the selfish one.
Yes, they could have played an evening game, and not cut off what we're doing here.
Okay, well, we'll blame Utah and definitely not you.
No.
No, I get it. I understand, and we'll move on. So with our limited time, let's just hop right into it because we got an hour. And we have 2 weeks of hockey to talk about. And lots happened. Yeah. Lots of things. Many of the things. So we've got this week. We'll start off real light and easy with a heartfelt moment.
Yes. Neither of us are Flames fans, but hey, credit where due. Johnny Hockey dies. They decide, hey, let's all go turn Saddle Dome into a big memorial. Let's leave flowers and cards and gifts and jerseys. And a lot of fans left a bunch of sticks there. And so the team, instead of, hey, let's just clean it all up and throw it in the trash, they said, hey, why don't we make some benches out of those sticks, which I think is pretty cool. And the first of those just got donated this week. So they're making a bunch of them out of all the sticks that were left behind in memoriam of them and putting them around the city at different places. So I think that's just a super cool, simple thing that they could do with all that. I mean, let's be real. Otherwise it's trash.
Yep. Well, yeah, I like it. It's definitely not going to be the most comfortable of things to sit on, I will say, but it's like you said, it's something to do with the sticks, and yeah, it's really nice. It's very this bench was handcrafted using hockey sticks left by the Sea of Red on the steps of the Scotiabank Saddle Dome in tribute to Johnny and Matthew Gaudreau. May their memory live on forever. Yeah. And, there have been lots of little things like that this season where there's lots of, the 13th win or the 13th goal in the Calgary or Columbus. I'm like, it's like they're still looking down on us. They're still watching. I'm like, yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
It's the little things like that. The hockey community likes to do their little things like that too.
It's the little things like that aren't becoming a huge distraction, I think is the key for me. When it becomes a huge distraction, everybody has to get involved. We're shutting games. No, okay, you've gone too far with it. But little things like that, recognition, absolutely. I'm all for it. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Ugh.
Okay.
Told you.
Well,
I'm still dying.
You're still dying. Keep that to myself.
You know who else is dying even worse than me?
But yeah, one might even say crashing.
Oh,
crashing. Oh yeah, the
9/11 jokes too soon. All right.
Well, no, they're just jets. Okay, they're just jets. They crash. Jets crash when their engines fail. If we look at this, they started 15-1, right? That's a pretty good record. Only losing once in 16 games. Not many teams can do that. But then in their last 10, they're 4-6. Last 11, they're 4-7.
Yep. Yeah, they are coming down to earth. They're still up there. They're still a very good team, obviously, but I've been saying the collapse is inevitable, and here it is. It has begun. I don't know what's changed. I think everybody might have just figured them out. Maybe the pressure got to them, whatever it is, but they're still a very good team. We're not crapping on them, but they're coming back to earth, and they're regressing to the mean a little bit here.
But they're no longer the best. And we see that because now the Minnesota Wild, the coming out of nowhere, are now first in the league with an 18-4-4 record. No one else You got Washington and New Jersey at 38 points. Vegas at 39. So Winnipeg, of course, at 38. So you got people close. But Winnipeg is your current new top dogs.
No, Minnesota.
Yes, that's what I said. Minnesota. I said Minnesota, and you cannot prove me wrong.
Okay. I won't.
Anything. If you were to clip what I had apparently said before, you'd find it's changed. AI changed it.
AI.
Completely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
It's a cheap fake.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they're just Minnesota just continues to roll, man. They're on a 5-game heater.
We're struggle busting over here, guys.
Why? What happened?
I just shook up my cider, and apparently the lid wasn't on all the way, and it just splashed everywhere, like all over my keyboard, all over my mouse pad. So my mouse pad's kind of trash now. We're having a good day, guys.
This guy over here, this guy, man. All right, well, that derailed me. Okay, well, yes, Wild now on top. Wild doing great, good things, scoring lots of goals, and winning lots of games.
It's Kirill Kaprizov. He's still killing it right now.
Yes.
Just want to put that out there.
Yeah.
I'm willing to throw myself under the bus a little bit here. Y'all remember who I picked as the scoring title this year? It wasn't Kaprizov.
No.
I wish it was. Because
hold up now. Because he's only in third right now.
Oh, I know. He'll take it back, though.
He's got a shot.
There's no way Nate just stays up there.
But here's the thing, that Philip Forsberg dark horse pick that you so recklessly made. Martin Necas here is an equivalent name to be kind of having in this situation. And people are like, "Oh yeah, he'll cool down. This isn't sustainable." I mean, he's been doing this for 2 months now. Okay? Like at some point, at what point do we look at him and say maybe he isn't just a wash. Maybe he's just going to maintain this all season.
Yeah, and that's fair. That's a very fair point to be making too. At some point, it's not
like
But then again, so was Winnipeg. So we'll see.
Yeah. Well, and we expect it to cool down somewhat because historically he has not been a points per game player, but right now he's like a 1.5 game per player.
Yeah. It's I remember when they were here in Utah, they were making that point. At that point, I think he was 1.72 per game or something stupid like that. And I'm like, guaranteed he's going to score the first goal against us. They scored 1 goal. He's the one who scored it. So
let's see, 41 divided by 26. He's currently at 1.58.
Yep. Over a point and a half a game. That's gross.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's impressive stuff right there. Where'd it go? Yeah, but
too many tabs.
It's hold up here. I'm trying to get it back. Here we go.
There you go.
There we go. I finally got there. Yeah. I mean McKinnon. Of
course.
Yeah. I mean, interestingly enough, Makar is no longer in this top 10. Unless I'm blind.
What happened to him?
Well, let's go to the fenceman. Oh, he's tied for 10th right now. He's got 34. So does Kucherov. Kucherov's got 34. Makar has 4. I mean, they're saving their team right now. Them and Rantanen. Like that's their team because they're not even. Colorado right now isn't in a playoff spot.
They're not looking good.
They're on the edge. They're right there at the border, but they just can't get things rolling, man. Nothing's working for them. But I mean, McKinnon, as of when Colorado played Edmonton this week, it was either this week or the end of last week. McKinnon had gone 10 games in a row without scoring a goal, but he had like over 60 shots. One game he even had 10 shots in a game or something close to that. It's just he's firing so much. He's trying, but just the puck luck ain't there, and he's just getting robbed left and right. So that's rough for him.
I feel like I've seen a lot of that kind of stuff this year. Just different streets, different teams. Just, you're doing everything right, and it's just not going.
It's been a very funky season for that just some teams. No, doesn't matter what the advanced analytics say. All the things they're trying. The end of the day, the important stats of wins is just not coming, and you don't know why.
Truth. But you know what is coming?
Ovi.
Yes.
So yeah, guys, Alexander Ovechkin on Ovi Watch, watching the Great 8 past the Great 1 in goals.
Don't get too excited.
He's technically injured, but how injured is he really, Jeff?
Apparently not very. Fractured his fibula 2 weeks ago, and he was seen 2 days ago in full pads, non-contact jersey, skating with the team at practice. I am wondering how bad that fracture really was, how overblown that injury was. I don't care how tough you are. Dude's like 82 years old. He hasn't healed from a fractured bone that quickly. So I don't know, man.
Maybe he went and got that. Maybe he got that questionable treatment that Matthews went to Germany for. Maybe Ovi also went to Germany and got the treatment that's illegal here, but not in Germany.
Could be. I mean, he is best friends with Putin, so there's that.
Okay.
Could have had Putin help.
No. None of that. No.
It's a
None of
well-known
that.
fact.
No. Anywho, we don't get.
Yeah, expect Ovi to come back soon.
Don't talk. There's two things you don't talk about at Thanksgiving dinner: politics and sports at the same time, and so we don't.
You could add a third if you want to throw Fight Club in there, but
that's not a Thanksgiving thing. That's just an always thing.
Oh, okay. I see.
Just remember the first rule, guys. Remember the first rule. Okay, yeah. But he might be back sooner than we think. So that's
crazy.
I don't understand. Sometimes when you just want it, magical things happen. The body listens. Manifest, guys. It works.
Apparently, I need to learn to do that.
Learn to manifest, guys. Because that's the only possible thing that Ovechkin could be doing to be coming back so quickly.
Yeah. Is he going to be playing in the Four Nations Cup?
Is Russia in the Four Nations Cup?
No, they're not.
No, because Russia is controversial right now, as we've been dancing around already. No, well,
so why don't you tell us about the Four Nations Cup?
Well, Jeff, do you know what nations are in the Four Nations Cup? Because this has only been the one of the biggest pieces of news over the past year in the hockey world. And
I didn't even know there were 4 nations that existed.
Oh, wow. Well, that makes me question a lot more things about you.
I do, actually. I do know.
Yes, you know.
Sweden, Finland, and the U.S.
Yeah, Sweden, Finland, Canada, U.S. Those are our 4 nations because those are the 4 biggest hockey contributing nations. Because people are like, oh, but what about the other countries? It's more than just them. What about the USSR and all that? Because back in the day. Well, back in the day, that was the big thing, right? U.S., Canada, and the USSR. No, well, now it's Russia. Well, no, the 4 nations, because Jeff, we're finally, for the first time in 10 years, we are getting professional international hockey. And we're starting with 2025, the 4 Nations Cup, where we're going to have those 4 countries competing with their NHL players all on a team together. And then in 2026, we're having NHL players return to the Winter Olympics. And then in 2027, we are bringing back the World Cup of Hockey.
Yeah.
I'm going to need you to get closer to your mic as you keep cutting out.
Yay! That probably cut out really bad, didn't it?
Only a little bit, but yeah. No, don't go too far away from your mic, because then your mic's just not picking you up. Then we have a different problem altogether.
Yeah, I'm used to not getting picked up. Anyway,
Heyo. Anywho, yeah. So apparently Jeff hasn't been following this at all. So I told him I've been informing him of these things because the polio has just been too much for him to
that's
pay
when my
attention.
brain
So
hit.
so the big news this week for the Four Nations Cup is that the official rosters of each country has been released. And, we've got all of that. But, Jeff, there's a stat you're going to love that has to do with the rosters. Do you know which team has the most players across all the countries? So, if you combined all the countries together, which team in the NHL has the most players being sent to the Four Nations Cup?
Which team in the NHL is sending the most to those 4 teams?
You're gonna be very excited about this.
Why would I be excited about it? I know it ain't Utah because we've only got 2 or 3. Boston's got 3. It's got to be Florida.
Too. The Florida Panthers,
Of course,
have 8 players
Disgusting.
filling up the rosters.
Disgusting.
With one of them possibly going to be the captain of the U.S. Of Team USA. Matthew Tkachuk is one of the
Team Canada,
possible projected captains. It's likely going to be Tkachuk, Matthews, Eichel, or Hughes. With I think there was a dark horse pick.
Easy for you to say.
No. So it's going to be one of those 4. But yeah, so we've got the
Give the captaincy to Otter.
Goalies aren't allowed to be captains. Fun fact.
I don't care. Do it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so it's been interesting. So yeah, the four nations rosters have been released, and of course, with all of this, with any time there are international rosters, that means the complaining on who got snubbed begins now.
Yep. And I've seen nothing but complaints about who got snubbed.
Well, and who got picked over
them. Yeah, and there's always going to be a couple of questionable picks here and there. The problem is, though, overall, how do you do this kind of a thing where you're taking 32 NHL teams, boiling it down to 4 teams without somebody that deserves it being left off? There's just not enough spots mathematically. So overall, people need to stop whining about it. But there's always going to be a couple that are questionable. There's always going to be a couple that are a coin toss. Coin toss didn't go your way. That's the way it goes.
Well, and here's the big question that I'm curious. Before we dive into kind of maybe some of the snubs or why some things happened, I want to ask you, what's more important, in your opinion, to consider when it comes to
money,
the rosters? So do you pick the players that are hot right now, the players who have historically been really good in big games, or maybe just had a rough start to the season, maybe were injured or something? Do you pick the players that are the best power play specialists, penalty killers, 5-on-5, what that play a certain system based off of your coach that you do, players that you've seen have chemistry, versus because you might have a player who's a little bit better than another, but because the player who's a little bit worse has chemistry with one of the way better players that is on the team. What do you think is the correct method of determining across those things? What would you do? What's your approach?
Yeah. And before my answer, I just want to give a quick point to that. That's why a lot of people feel like there are snubs. Because how do you make that determination on a limited number of spots? Because it could be any number of those things. It could be player A was better, but we already had enough power forwards. We needed somebody who was a power play specialist. It could have been any number of things. For me, because this doesn't matter, this is an exhibition, I say go for the most exciting. The whole purpose of this entire thing is to bring eyes to the game, bring excitement in. Let's put on an exhibition where we can have some fun. I don't care if you've only scored 10 goals. If you're a more exciting player out on the ice, you get picked. In this case.
Absolutely. I like that. I feel like that's pretty simple, straightforward,
Yep.
and an easy
How do you
decision.
determine who's more exciting? Of course, that's subjective too, but at least gives you some framework.
Mm-hmm. And so, how much do you think recent struggles, both for a player themselves and a player in terms of their overall team's play, how do you think that plays a factor into whether or not they should be picked? Because particularly in Canada's case, Canada has a lot of people that it's controversial who was picked. Like USA, a little bit, not as much in Finland and Sweden, even less so. Canada's the big one where they had too many good options to pick from. So when you have too many good options, how much do you attribute recent success? And I'm talking not just about, past couple seasons. I'm literally talking about the first 25 games of this season, first quarter of the season. Should that be the deciding factors to whether, you play yourself on or play yourself off of the team?
The deciding factor, no. But I think your success in this season, but even more, especially the last couple of weeks, I think that needs to play a role, and that is going to be a part of the excitement factor. If we're just picking the most successful guys, the best guys right now, this is nothing more than All-Star Game Part 2. Nobody liked the All-Star Game. The All-Star Game has dropped in ratings. The All-Star Game keeps getting messed with and keeps getting changed. And, some sports are even dropping their All-Star Games because nobody cares. Nobody watches it. Everybody whines about it. Why then are we trying to take this and turn this and complain that this is an All-Star Game Part 2? That's the part that's frustrating me.
I mean, it is an All-Star Game, but it's one that's good because the players care and try. Like this is an All-Star Game, just instead of based off of division, it's based off of country. And but because it's based off of country, players care. Like there is pride, there is massive pride on the line and accomplishment. This is a big deal to players, which means it's a big deal to fans. And so I'm okay with it being an All-Star Game because it's not going to be.
If we see that, then I'll be okay with it.
Yeah, I mean that's what international competition's always been, right? It's you put up your best, just like an All-Star Game would. But here, the players care and therefore the fans care because there's actually something on the line. There's something to play for.
Sure.
And so that kind of brings us into players want to get on the team. And so it's kind of a second. It obviously winning it's your NHL team is most important, but a second is playing to be able to win with your country's roster. And that kind of brings me to some of the questionable choices for who got picked, because as much as players can play well or badly, they're not the ones that decide if they're on the team or not. It's the people that are put in charge. And so we can take a look here at the Team Canada roster. You have your first initial 6 players, which, 5 of the 6 are definite guarantees for sure. One maybe there is questionable. I'll give you 5 guesses as to who I'm thinking of, and the first 4 don't count.
Well, I know exactly who you're thinking of, but let's take out personal bias here. Excitement, kind of. Licking people is very exciting.
Oh, sponsored by KFC, I guess.
No, everybody likes to crap on Marty, and I don't understand.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, of course. No, he deserves. He 100% deserves to be on the team. Yeah. But then you've got Sam Bennett, Cirelli, Hagel, Jarvis. Jarvis is an interesting pick. Konechny could be a borderline pick. Marner, Reinhart, Stone, all for sure.
Stone Morrissey, has been injured last month.
He played yesterday. He's back.
He did. I give him 2 weeks.
Yeah. You got Morrissey, Pietrangelo, and Taves. All for sure. Theodore, sure. It seems interesting. They both with the Makar, Taves, and Theodore Pietrangelo, they seem to want to pick specific defensive partnerships across the league. Yeah. that, your defense, it helps when you know what your partner's going to do, especially when, these teams, there's only going to be a few games. There's not going to be a lot of games, so it's not like you're going to have a lot of time to build chemistry. You want to have it instantaneously, so I get that. But, there was a few players who people feel were snubbed. Like Sam Montembeault, no one I've yet to hear an argument as to why he is the third goalie for Canada. Aiden Hill and Jordan Binnington, they were talked about from the beginning.
Reason why?
Why?
What team does he play for?
Montreal.
That's your reasoning.
But if you're going to put a Montreal player on, pick Caulfield. Because wait, is it? I'm blanking Caulfield. On Cole Caulfield. Is it Cole Caulfield? Oh no, so Cole Caulfield was snubbed off of the U.S. team, and it's Suzuki.
Nick Suzuki, he's on.
No, he's not. What?
Really? I thought I saw him on.
Nope. Nick Suzuki is not on here. He was one of the players snubbed. So the Canadian players that were snubbed: Nick Suzuki, Mark Scheifele, Zach Hyman, Bouchard, Thompson, Stuart Skinner, and Steven Stamkos. So obviously, that's too many people to fit on this team. So obviously, someone's going to get snapped. But let's say, for example, you want a Canadians player on here. Why Montembeault? Let's take a look at some numbers here, Jeff. The man's played 20 games this season, won 8 times. 282 goals against, 906 save percentage. The only reason it's 906 right now is because his last 2 games he played well.
Sweet. It froze.
It's not me this time. It's not me this time. Normally it's been me, but this time it's not. Not this time.
Well, I'm still connected, so.
Well, I didn't disconnect at all. So this time it wasn't me. Not me this time.
Let's look at some numbers.
Yeah. So the only reason it's up to 906 is because the last 2 games. Prior to that, he'd been bad. He has not been great this season at all. And career-wise, he's not even a 900. He's 899. Whereas, let's take a look at, I'll just say Marc-Andre Fleury. He was in the conversation. I know he's not a top pick. He's only played 6 games, but he's won 5. 905 save percentage. Second best Canadian goalie. He's maybe not second best because you got Carey Price, Marty Brodeur. One of the best Canadian goalies to ever play the game, and currently the best still playing in terms of history, in terms of career. Maybe is he the best of them right now? No, but he's been in the big moments. He's won cups. He's been a part of winning international teams. He's great in the locker room. He helps motivate the guys, keep things light, and just really improve the mood. He's a great team guy.
And who could you name in the league that would be more entertaining than having him?
Exactly. And then if you want to just go stats-wise, Logan Thompson. Dude's on fire right now. 13 games played on the Caps, 10 wins. Like, what is Montembeault bringing over those 2 guys? And then you've also got Stuart Skinner, who has had a rough start to the year, but his last 6-7 games have been fantastic. So I really don't understand that.
Yeah.
Stamkos, I really think, I haven't heard him talked about much, but earlier today, I watched something where someone brought up the fact of, look, Stamkos is a really good player, really great goal scorer who can do a lot for you. He's been in the big moments. There's like, is Seth Jarvis really the guy that is going to be better than having a Steven Stamkos?
A Seth Jarvis, Anthony Cirelli, that was another question for me.
Like, okay, you don't have Suzuki. Okay, you don't have Scheifele or Hyman. I think the Hyman's a big mistake.
I think for me, the Stamkos, since we're talking about him, though, I disagree with the decision to leave him off, but I completely understand why.
How so?
He's having a down year. His team's terrible. He hasn't really I mean, I don't want to say he's done nothing, but the how do I want to phrase this? The messaging, the hype around the team has been they're done, they're bad, they're underachieving, they suck. And so that kind of, even if he has 1,000 goals, when the hype around the team and the messaging around the team is he sucks and they're done and they're underperforming, you're going to cause a lot of complaining. So it's, again, I disagree with it. I don't think that's a good enough reason, but I can kind of see why they might have left him off. Some of the other ones, I don't know. With that being said, though, I've seen a couple of graphics going around that people are taking all the kind of the bigger snubs from the Canadian team, and you could take like Canadian team snubs, and that's a pretty dang good team right there.
Yeah, I've seen that too. Where Canada's B team, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. But Konechny here, this is one. He's one that never gets the attention he deserves. He never gets the respect I think he deserves. He's very quietly a very good player.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he is definitely an underrated player, but that's because he's on Philly, and
Exactly.
no one knows a dang thing about what's going on with Philly. Like
Exactly.
if you were to ask me, hey, what's the record right now? I couldn't tell you unless I looked at it, and it's they're 12, 11, and 3. Well, they're above 500.
Yeah, that actually surprises me.
Yeah, they're in the wild card race, so they're that team that no one knows how they're doing. No one really cares. Also, I just noticed New York Islanders have 7 overtime losses this season already. That's insane. Completely irrelevant. But yeah, okay. So that's there. It feels like a lot of those players were not chosen because of some rough starts to the season.
Sure.
But like, come on. You got Stamkos, who's an amazing goal scorer. Last year, playoffs and regular season, Hyman had 70-plus goals. Year before, he had 40s or something. Great with McDavid. He's come back from injury already. First game back with McDavid, scores 2 goals. Like it seems like hopefully whatever bad luck had bitten him was there. But whatever. You know what? When you look at who's managing Team Canada, this makes sense. Because, Jeff, the general manager of Team Canada this year is none other than Boston Bruins GM, Don Sweeney. And their director of player personnel is none other than the general manager of the Pittsburgh Penguins, Kyle Dubas, who should be called Kyle Doofus, if you ask me. But Dumb Sweeney and Kyle Doofus is what we can call them. That can be their names. Because what's Boston's player acquisitions and trades and movements have not been great this year, and they've blamed it on the coach. And we'll get into that a little later. Kyle Dubas is tanking the Pittsburgh Penguins into oblivion.
Yeah, Pittsburgh's not even a real team right now.
No.
Let's be honest about this.
No. So this... And, there's less talk about it when it comes to the U.S., Team USA, because their GM is the Minnesota Wild general manager, Bill Guerin.
Yeah.
Who's obviously, as the Wild are doing fantastic, shows he's doing a good job, I would think. It's kind of what it shows.
Yeah.
So these are the guys, we're like, oh, how much does a GM do? It's an international thing, blah, blah, blah. These are the guys that make the decision of who the rosters are. And so, fortunately, we have enough good talent on Canada that, like you said, even, Team A is fantastic, Team B is fantastic. So really, we're going to be fine. But the other countries are really good now. Canada's isn't the favorite like it was back in the day.
Well, and it just really makes me wonder too. And I'm just kind of devil's advocate here a little bit. Let's just blame the personnel decisions 100% on Sweeney and Dubas.
Doofus for the children.
Sweeney would have zero motivation to pick Mountain Ball. We hate Montreal. Dubas, who knows what motivation, if any. So even if we're going to take your theory and blame it on those two, how did Montembeau make this team?
Dude, I don't
I
know.
can't figure
I
that one out.
really don't understand.
Cannot figure that one out.
I did. Who knows? Because I mean, you got the U.S. who's got Hellebuck, Ottinger, and Swayman. Like I'd ask you to name a better goalie lineup, but then you have things like Kevin Lankinen, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, and Jussi Saros for Finland, and then Sweden's got Gustafsson, Markstrom, and Allmark.
Jussi has not been good this year.
He's let's.
I mean, the whole team's been bad, but
yeah, but that's the thing is how much is that? Well, hold up. So yeah, he only has 6 wins in 22 games played, but his goals against average is .264 and his save percentage is .911. Never forget.
a lot better than I thought. Wow.
Like his stats, he has 2 shutouts, .264 goals against average, and a .911 save percentage.
I take it back.
If I was to make you guess based off of those stats, how many games he'd won in the 22 he's played, would you guess 6?
No.
So that shows me the run support is just he's doing his part.
Yeah.
It's like that meme. I'm doing my part. But instead of, everyone saying they're doing their part, it's one guy saying I'm doing my part and it's him. And then everyone else going, I ain't doing bleep.
Yeah. 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 You're not wrong. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
So I mean, that's there. Everyone's Canada's definitely got the weakest goaltending situation, despite they actually having the most cup winning goalies, funnily enough.
Yeah.
Because, 2 out of the 3 that you have are cup-winning goalies, and you could have had 3 out of 3, but coulda, shoulda, woulda. Yeah. So I mean, I'm excited. This is happening in February. It is replacing the All-Star Game this year.
Yeah.
So
maybe we'll have to see and check scheduling as we get closer to it. But that might be a good thing to watch party some of those games on stream here.
That'd be cool. We can do it. I don't know what the legal logistics of it are, but we could possibly even be doing almost like a radio commentary thing.
Oh, there you go.
I don't know that. I feel like that could run into some legal issues. Maybe I'll have to do some research.
As long as we're not showing it on stream, then.
Well, because you also do have radio broadcasts, right?
Yeah. That
are exclusive, but I don't know. We'll see.
We'll look into it.
Well, we'll have to look into it. Yeah. Okay. So that's that's the 4 nations. Controversial as it should be. Makes it fun. Makes it interesting. Gets people engaged. So maybe that's why they picked those players, to get people talking, get people complaining, keep it relevant.
And then Montembeau's going to come down with a phantom injury about 2 weeks before the event, and they'll have to replace him anyway.
True. Yeah.
Who knows?
Who knows, man?
That's about the time Mark Jones should be injured, so he'll be out too. He'll get replaced.
Yeah, he'll get replaced. That's the thing, because you have they do have a short list of players to replace people who are injured, because there's no way that no one on these lists by February, no way everyone's healthy. That just doesn't happen.
And I just, speaking of injuries, and this will be my final point on it, I'm going to be really upset if some of these playoff teams lose some of their big players and have to go into the playoffs without their superstars because of this stupid tournament.
Hey, now, it's not a stupid tournament. Hey, now.
I said it. I like it, don't get me wrong. It's not a stupid tournament, but if it starts injuring players for the thing that actually matters, that's not okay. International
competition very much matters. It is there's the Stanley Cup. And there's and then there's internet. Mm-hmm. You've just been too long without it. You don't remember. Nah. You don't know.
I just don't
what
care.
This brings out, and you know what? That's gonna change. You're gonna change your mind. You're gonna care. If we do those watch parties, you are gonna learn to care, because some of the most historic moments in sports, in hockey, and just sports in general happen in the international competitions.
Do you believe in miracles?
On ice, I do.
Ah!
Ah.
That was so lame. Anyway, you know who else is lame?
The New York Orangators. The
I
Rangers
use
in
the exact
dangers.
same segue every time, but I also kind of love it too.
Rangers in dangers, baby.
Yes,
So,
yes. What has been going on with the Rangers here? It's
So-
kind of got me excited.
last year, Jeff, this team was the President's Trophy winners. They were the best team in the league.
They were.
Like all season, too. Like they started off great, and they just continued great the whole time. They maintained it. It was fantastic. This season, they're 14-10-1. They're 4-6 in their last 10. And because we were out of it last time, a couple weeks ago, that's when this really started to go down where the GM's like, no one is safe, and we're looking to trade. We're looking to shake things up. Things aren't going well. And Trouba and Kreider, you're on the chopping block, buds. Like, you're on the trading block. You're good. You're out of here. And everyone's like freaking out. And, Shesterkin hadn't been signed. And just all kinds of it's trouble in the Big Apple.
And I don't blame them. I don't blame them at all. I'm not saying that every move that they're going to make is the right move, but things aren't working here. Things aren't going well. You guys aren't doing your jobs. Nobody's safe. I don't disagree with that at all. I think more teams should be doing that, and more players should be held accountable.
Well, and it's interesting, too, because they're not going and firing their coach. They're doing a very different approach from a lot of it, because every other team, it's like, fire the coach, that'll fix it.
Yep.
But New York's like, no. I mean, maybe they might still end up firing the coach. We don't know, but they're targeting players first. And yesterday, it actually happened, because for the last week and a half, it's kind of just seemed like, it's just posturing. Like this.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
Especially their captain. There's no way they're getting rid of Jacob Trouba.
Psych. Trade alert. Jacob Trouba, captain of the New York Rangers, has been sent to the Anaheim Ducks in exchange for Urho Vakanainen and a conditional 4th-round draft pick.
I just want to take
What
take
the bleep?
What's up? No, that's not what I wanted. I don't know if it's going to let me do it easy. Probably not. I messaged this to you yesterday on Facebook. Sent you a link to an article about Trouba possibly getting traded. And do you remember what your response was?
Well, no, it wasn't about him being traded. It was about him being put on waivers.
Oh, yeah, traded or waivers, yeah. And what was it that your response was?
Ha 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 ha, never happening.
Yeah.
And then literally 20 minutes later, I'm like, he just got traded to Anaheim.
You know what happened about 2 hours later? He gone. Dude, I still got full connection here.
It's not me. Well, Jeff has died. And it's not me this time. Is he back?
Getting sick.
I think whatever virus you had, you've infected your computer with.
Probably. I mean, it's showing me I've got full internet access. I don't know what the deal is.
Yeah, I don't know either. But this time, yeah, I'm not having any of the problems that has happened in the past. Maybe it's been you the whole time. Every time. Nah, it was me before. Anywho, yeah. So that's happened. Because of that opened up space for them to sign Igor Shesterkin to the largest goalie contract in NHL history. Or highest paid goalie per year. Hold on. Let me see. Rick
Is the biggest in history.
DiPietro contract. Because let's see. How big was... Okay, no, it was a 15-year, but 67.5. So this is the largest goalie contract in NHL history, beating Carey Price's $10.5 million a year, now with an $11.5 million a year contract. And it only took trading the captain away for Igor to be like, okay, I'll sign it. I'll do
Yep, I'll take that contract.
it. He wanted that extra little bit more to be the highest paid player on the team, but I guess he settled for getting to stay on the team.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with them over the next couple of weeks here. I mean, is this going to turn into a full-on fire sale? Who knows? Who knows? I just hope if they're trading some more of their big name players, they're getting a little bit more back. I don't love the Trouba trade for them. I don't love Trouba, to be fair, but I don't love that trade for them.
Well, see, it helped clear up cap space because that was the big thing for that.
Yeah.
Because Urho Vakanainen, a very fun name to say, or Urho, depending on what you want to do. So he, if we want to look at his stats real quick here. I mean, he's played in Anaheim. He was drafted by Boston 18th overall back in 2017. Fun fact. But he never really got much playing time there. Last season was his first season actually playing. And he had a really great season. Because the year before that, he'd played only 23 games, was a -16. So obviously got sent down. But last season on the Ducks was a 0. Big improvement. 14 points in 68 games with an average ice time of 17:29. I mean, he might have a lot of good potential. I don't know. I have no idea who this guy is. But yeah, for Trouba, I feel like if you were to go onto the Xbox, put in NHL, and suggest this trade, the computer would be like, no. What are you doing? But Anaheim's one of those teams that just will take bad contracts, and Trouba's $8 million a year.
Yep.
Just was not doing it for them. So.
And my first thought, too, when I saw this go through, mentally, what kind of a toll does it take on you? I'm the captain of a hockey team in the NHL and in the New York media. And now I'm going to one of the worst teams in the league, and I'm not the captain anymore. All in just a couple of minutes.
Well,
Mentally, what's that do to a guy?
Well, what I'm shocked about is how he doesn't have. How in the world does he not have a no trade clause?
He did. What I saw was he had a partial no trade clause. I don't know who was on and who was off. So I don't know if he had to waive it for that. But he had already apparently told management, because management came to him and said, we're talking to these 3 teams, these 4 teams about trading you. And he said no. And they said, okay, look, you're either waiving your no trade clause to get traded, or we're putting you on waivers, and we're cutting you. And so they played hardball with him, and so was Anaheim on his no trade list and he had to waive that, or was he not on the no trade? I don't know which side of the fence that fell on. But they played hardball with him. And they said, fine, You want to make it difficult for us? We can make it difficult for you too. We're getting our way.
He is on the second last year of his deal, so
Yep.
Anaheim only has to eat the contract for this year and next year.
Oh.
And then it's over, but yeah. Sheesh, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you said, that's brutal. That's going to shake you up too, because that's just crazy. Yeah, it begs the question, like, what is Anaheim even trying to accomplish at this point? Like, what are they doing? But
At this point, they're probably hoping they can just sell a couple more tickets and sell some jerseys with his name on it, to be honest with you.
I guess, but you're
a lot of people are excited to see Gudis and Trouba play together.
That's a scary D pair.
Yeah,
or a set of D. I guess they're both right shots.
Yeah, that'll be fun, but it ain't gonna turn that team around.
No, that's just gonna get them more suspensions and fines.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah, and next is it's anticipated that Chris Kreider will be traded next, and I've heard rumors that the Rangers are interested in Brady Tkachuk, the captain of the Ottawa Senators. So it's just captain eat captain out there right now. No one is safe. Is McDavid even safe?
No.
Who at this point couldn't be traded? You're gonna see Crosby for McDavid. That's what's gonna come down. You're gonna see that. That would be the worst trade ever. But
the worst trade in the history of trade deals. Period.
Yeah. Terrible deal. I would never say it, but people tell me it'd be a terrible deal. All right. Well, quickly, we're running out of time here before we got to get here. So we'll quickly get to our last couple things. Boston screwed the pooch. Jimmy.
I hate being a Boston fan sometimes. It's
tell me about
life.
it. Tell me about
it. We talked about it a couple weeks ago that we let Jim Montgomery go. Have you, by chance, been paying attention to how he's been doing since Boston let him go?
Well, by the notes here, and by what I've watched, the Blues are 4-0-1 since he took over. That's decent. It's decent.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll tell you a little bit more about that. 4-0-1 record, including a shutout over the Devils, which is a good team, and a 4-1 win over Winnipeg. This was right at the beginning of the Winnipeg collapse. So they kind of caused the start of the said collapse.
They made them sing the blues.
Oh, that was bad. But I love it. Before getting Montgomery, they were the 5th worst in goals allowed, 8th worst in goals allowed per games played, 3rd worst in goals for per games played, 8th worst power play percentage, 9th worst power play kill, and now I'll give you those same stats. 2nd best in goals allowed, 1st in goals allowed per games played, top 10 in the goals for per games played and the power play, 3rd in penalty kill. They have literally gone from bottom 8 in every one of those categories to top of the league.
That's pretty good. I have to admit, that is impressive. An impressive turnaround. Now, that could just be honeymoon phase of a new coach. Sure. There's often that kind of thing. So I'm curious to see how maintainable it is, but we know how good of a coach Jim Montgomery is.
Yep. Coach of the year, runner-up at least once, President's Trophy winner 2 years, and Sweeney guts the team and then blames it on Monty. We fire him. Want to add a little bit of insult to injury. We did, again, talk about this 2 weeks ago. The last 3 coaches of Boston have been fired after winning Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
We have Jim Montgomery here, really, who's now with the Blues. We have Bruce Cassidy, who was before Jim Montgomery, and he went and won a cup in Vegas. Does anybody remember who the coach before Cassidy was?
Enlighten me.
It was Claude Julien. Where's Claude Julien now? Oh, yeah. He's in the front office in St. Louis. Montgomery and Claude Julien together.
Yeah. Who?
Guaranteed they're going to be beating us every time we play this year.
Yeah. And, Claude Julien didn't he go and help St. Louis win a cup too after? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So really what we're saying is St. Louis is winning the cup this year. They beat Boston.
Do you remember in the finals?
They beat Boston in the Stanley Cup Finals. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the good news is Boston makes the finals this year.
The Blues win the cup if they can make the playoffs.
Yeah. They will. They will. Just to stick it to Boston.
Yeah, probably.
So
Now to be fair to Boston, they are now 6-2 since Joe Sacco took over for Jim Montgomery. So they're turning. It looks like they're at least in a honeymoon phase too. Whether or not it's a true turnaround, who knows? But they're right there. They're 3 points behind Florida and Toronto for first in the division. So, they've they're
We're
not
not out
they're
of it.
not doing terrible. They're not doing terrible.
Yeah, we're not out of it for sure.
No.
So we'll see what happens. I get tired of the knee jerk. I get tired of just stupid decisions from Boston sports. And it's not even just hockey. It's been Boston sports the entire time I've been alive. Let's build these guys up, make them superstars, and then get rid of them for pennies. And then act surprised when they decide they want to go win 2 World Series in LA.
Pennies from the heavens. Shooby dooby.
Shooby dooby indeed. Well, let's
Yeah.
shooby dooby our way over to our predictions for the week.
Yeah, quickly do our predictions here. So, 2 weeks ago, we had our first tie. We both went 10-5, magically somehow. And this begs the question: do we bother with the tiebreaker, or do we just let ties happen?
I don't know. I mean, I want to do a tiebreaker because it's fun, but at the same time, it might not matter.
I mean, we could do it where just this week counts as double, where it's if you win this week, this is an overtime thing.
Oh, no. That's a little too much.
Make a week ride as worth double the win. Double win.
Yeah, no.
I mean, you could if you did it that way, you could reestablish your 3-week lead if you were to win.
Or we can just come up with a good tiebreaker round that I will dominate in.
Well, I'll let you think on that. We can decide. We can decide later. But for now, we'll leave it as a tie and just go to our predictions. So today, Philly, Boston.
I got Boston.
I got Boston. Utah Hockey Club and Buffalo.
Utah.
Buffalo.
Oh, you're not allowed to watch my stream anymore.
Okay.
Just kidding. Please do.
I'll have it open. I got people in the house and playing some hockey later. So we'll see. Winnipeg, Chicago.
This is one of the tough ones for me this week.
Really?
It is.
I mean, I'm going Winnipeg. The guy
yeah.
just.
I am gonna go Winnipeg, but Winnipeg, they're in their collapse right now. Now's a good time to pick off some wins against Winnipeg. But it's Chicago. You know what? No. I'm gonna take Chicago.
Wow! Thank you for allowing me to win this week.
Give me Chicago,
that, sir. I appreciate you. You know what? Maybe just for that, I'll switch my guess to Utah.
Hey,
no, I'm kidding.
Hey,
I'm not.
Fix that.
Oh, whoops! Yeah.
There you go.
Okay. Yeah.
Carolina, New York. I got Carolina.
I also have Carolina. Yeah. San Jose, Florida.
I have to.
Can you do it? Can you do it just once? Will you do it? Or are you going San Jose? He's going San Jose. Wow.
How many wins does San Jose currently have?
They have
10.
10. Wow, you're real screwed there. Ooh.
Uh-huh.
Wow, you're under 20. You're under on the 20 and a half. I mean, they can win 10 more games the next 2/3 of the season.
You know what? Screw it. For the memes, we're going San Jose.
Yeah, I'd already written you down as San Jose because you just it.
Because it's Florida.
Yeah, it's Florida. You can't. I'm the guy who lost to them in the Stanley Cup Finals, but I can at least still appreciate them.
Nope, I can't.
All right, Washington, Montreal.
Washington.
Yeah, Washington. Nashville, Ottawa.
Nashville.
Yep. Colorado, Detroit.
Detroit.
Colorado. I love Colorado. Toronto, Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
Oh, I'm going Toronto.
I wanted to take a couple upsets today.
Yeah, I'm just not
It's more
feeling
fun.
any of the upsets today. They're just Minnesota, LA.
LA. Gonna lose.
Oh, I'm actually
high on
okay.
Minnesota.
That's my upset.
Oh, really?
Actually. Yeah, as much as I really want Minnesota to win because Edmonton's chasing LA, that's my upset for today.
Okay.
And then St. Louis, Edmonton. The return of Philip Broberg and Dylan Holloway to Edmonton.
This is the other tough one of the week for me. But I'm going to take St. Louis.
Okay. Thank you for some of these picks and allowing me to win this week. I really appreciate you. Appreciate your choices, and that they're worse than mine.
When I beat you this week, I'm going to replay this segment on next week's show.
Okay. I look forward to that. I look forward to it. Make me eat my words.
I will.
Okay. Well, thank you, everyone. Go to Utah Hockey Live on YouTube or Rumble, wherever you may so desire. And go watch Jeff's watch party and watch that hockey.
Let's watch some hockey. We'll see you guys later.